Hey guys, Nicole here, and I actually just got back from a scrapbooking weekend. For those of you who aren't familiar, every couple months or so I meet up with my best friend. We each meet halfway from where we each live, and we get together and we rent a hotel room and we scrapbook and we eat and we drink coffee. And change some lighting here, hopefully that helps. And we just had that this last weekend. I just got home today. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out the lighting here. Hopefully that helps. So normally what I would have is a stack of layouts to show you that I got completed during that time. But this time we actually both did this. I had a Disney vacation from a few years ago, and then another Disney vacation from about 2.5, 3 years ago that I wanted to work on. And so I just took all Disney stuff. I did take some other stuff as well, but ended up only working on Disney. And so did she, actually, because she just got back from Disney. So I wanted to kind of show you the albums, and I'll try to point out the layouts that I got done this weekend. And I hope the lighting's okay. It's kind of cloudy and stuff here, so it may not be super great, but hopefully it's okay. I'm going to show you kind of how to tackle a bigger album like this. This trip was actually 3 albums. My most recent trip was 4 albums because we also did Universal Studios. But I wanted to kind of talk to you about my process because it can be very overwhelming when you get back from like a family reunion or a vacation or some big event that you have lots of photos. It can be kind of overwhelming to figure out how to scrapbook that. And now I will say first off that I am notorious for, especially back here, this was 2011, printing way too many photos. So this first vacation, I printed off almost all the photos from the ones I took and then the ones the Disney people took. And I'm much better now about not printing them all out, although even the most recent trip I still printed off more than I needed. But I like to just include it all together. Like I want to have the ephemera, I want to have the photos, everything all together in one album, so I'm not having to look separate places for an overall look at the experience. I want it all together, and so I include it all in here. So the way I did this when this hadn't even started yet, was I took a bunch of these page protectors, some vertical, some horizontal, and I filled up the albums with these empty. And then I put in my photos into them. So almost like I'm creating a photo album and put them in the order that I wanted them to be in as a completed scrapbook. So I started with a cover photo for the whole trip, and then like the surprise, telling the kids we were going, the travels there, the first day, etc. Now, Disney can be tricky. So like this here, I think I did it by park because a lot of times when you go to Disney World, you end up going to multiple parks in a day, or you may go to one park twice over 2 separate days. So I believe this one I organized by park. And then the most recent one I organized by day because I pretty much had it set where we were going like one park a day, and we weren't going lots of different parks. So you can just decide how you want to do that. Do I want to organize this by park? Do I want to organize this by time? So day 1, day 2, day 3. But get those photos organized and get them put into these divided page protectors. And then what you can do is when you're ready to start scrapbooking, you can just flip through your page protectors and then figure out and then just scrapbook. Start scrapbooking and then start inserting in your 12 by 12 page protectors and inserting your layouts. So for the last few years, this has been partial layouts, partial these with photos. Now, when I first started this project, like now I do a lot more where I have less of these, and I will fit like 6 photos here, 6 photos here, and I'm okay with that. Sometimes I want it to be more decorative, and so I try to get more of the project life cards in there. But it's a great way to use up not only your scrapbooking supplies because you're making lots of layouts, but you're also doing it this way. You're also able to use a lot of your project life cards because if you're like me, let me show you an example. I'll go through this from the beginning, but I just want to show you an example. I'll have, so for instance here, we went to Chef Mickey's, okay? So I had lots of photos from Chef Mickey's because you meet lots of characters. And so what I did was I'll pick kind of my favorite photos from the batch from this particular part of the vacation, decide which ones I want to scrapbook like actual pages for, and then the accompanying photos for that will go in a divided page protector like this. And so I'm getting all the photos in there together. They're together with, you know, the stories all together, but it also gives you a great chance to use up a lot of those project life cards. And so here you'll see this is Chef Mickey's. I have some Chef Mickey's over here, and then more Chef Mickey's, and it's, you know, all the photos with Mickey. I had a bunch of photos with Mickey. I also had autographs, so I included those in. And then now we have Pluto, and then so here, because I already scrapbooked other pictures with Pluto and Donald, I just put these in the page protectors and I didn't make actual pages. Some of this was also because I was just ready to be done at this point. So I can always come back to this and say, you know what, I'm going to actually make a scrapbook page, make a scrapbook page here and just insert in my page protector, take this out, rearrange it a little bit. So now the tricky part with doing it this way is that the way you have it, because I'm trying to make this make sense. So sometimes I wouldn't have my album with me. I would just take a bunch of the photos and scrapbook supplies, and I would go scrapbook, and then I'd get back, and the way I had it organized in the album, it didn't quite fit. And so sometimes I would have like empty pages like this where I didn't have one photo to put here. Now I could have chosen one. I could have chosen one of these and did another little mini page here, because I did here as well. I wanted to focus on this photo because I loved it so much. And sometimes I did that, and then sometimes I just used it as a way to use up cute paper. So a lot of times you get those really pretty papers that you don't want to cover up or that have a phrase on them. I thought this was super pretty. It matched all the colors that you're seeing on these sides. I just did a fun sticker. So I have a mix of that in there as well, which makes it really fun. I think it's a little bit different than just having photo. It kind of gives your eye a break from all the photos, especially since this is all photos. So you kind of get your pen and paper over here and your photos over here. And so it's just a fun way to mix it up. As you can see, I have all kinds of different sizes and styles. So these are like the 10 by 12 divided page protectors. And what I do is I actually take 12 by 12 D-ring binder albums. I have a bunch of, empty ones that aren't being used, and I actually organize all my divided page protectors in them. So I have all this style in one album. I have all my just regular 12 by 12 in another one, and then I have some smaller albums with like my 6 by 12. And I've over the years I've collected all kinds of different sizes of these, and so I love having a variety in there. And so I'm just going to start kind of going through. I'll talk a little bit more about the process as I'm showing you the layouts. I had these were actually from a Project Life set. Thought these were a good way to divide between the sections. Now I at some point should probably put like a title here, like Travels to Disney or whatever, Epcot, Hollywood Studios, that kind of thing. But I haven't done that yet. And if I don't get to it, that's not a huge deal, but I just had these in there to separate the sections. And so, some of these layouts, you guys, I did like 7 years ago. And so this is an album I've been working on since we basically got home from the trip. So some of these products are a little bit older. Some of my styles are a little bit older, but, another thing too is you'll notice I don't use like the same line throughout. Now you can if you have a smaller vacation, like I did a DC vacation and I used one line throughout the whole thing because it was it just matched all the photos very well. But Disney, you have so many different pictures. Like you have your princess pictures, you have your Disney pictures, you have like if you go to Animal Kingdom, it's more like wildlife pictures, and so they're all so different. And so I just decided when I started this, I'm just going to just scrapbook with whatever products I feel like scrapbooking with. And as many of you know, I work within kits. So I would often pull a kit of supplies and I'd say, okay, what photos do I have through this trip that will work with this kit? So if I have a more like let's say a Paige Evans kit, her last few lines have worked really well for a lot of the princess themed photos. And then the simple stories and the Echo Park Say Cheese lines, and like Disney themed lines work really well for your Mickey and Donald and your basic like primary colored layouts. So it's all mixed in. There's no rhyme or reason. You're going to have different looks next to each other, and I'm okay with that. I didn't feel like I needed to use the same line throughout. I would have gotten very bored doing it that way. I also didn't feel like I had to use Disney themed albums or things through the whole trip either. I have them interspersed. There are a few things that I did get that I try to intersperse throughout, like these little Mickey jewels. I have some wood veneers, and you know, I have definitely Mickey themed stuff, Mickey themed items throughout the entire album, but you aren't going to see it on every single page. Okay, so I'll kind of point out the pages that I did this weekend just so you can see which ones I actually got done. I didn't count them or anything. I don't know how much I got done, but I know I got a lot done. So this is a cover page. I only did this for the very first album, just saying this is our Disney World 2011 trip, and I did a family photo of all of us, and just again match the colors. So I just try to pick the products based on the colors in the photo, and so there's that. Obviously, this can get really long if I talk about every layout, so I'm not going to. I'm just going to flip through here. But these are all stories about the surprise. So here I did one main photo of the kids holding their signs that we had used to tell them about it. You can see I journaled on almost every page, but some pages don't have journaling because the journaling may have been on a previous layout. So these are just about the surprise. And then here's just a variety of photos. We bought a bunch of gifts for the kids to take with them. And here I probably could have condensed this a little bit. And I can still go back and do that. Like I can have not as many empty slots and combine them a little bit more. But I really liked this Simple Stories line, and I can't think of what it was called. It's an older one, but I really wanted to use those cards. So again, here's one that had a lot of this versus photos. I could have mixed that up a little bit better. But I also wanted to give myself a little bit of extra room in case I went back and found like our airplane. Well, I think I have our airplane tickets in here. I found other ephemera because I have, I'm fairly organized, but sometimes I'll find a whole packet of stuff like, oh, this was from that trip. And so I still have some pockets to put some extra stuff in if I needed to. So again, just some more pages. As you can see, I just scrapbook some I just used the page protectors. Here I did put the airplane tickets. It's just in a pocket. I made that a pocket, and then did a journaling card in there. Make sure you guys can see everything here. So here I put in some of these clear acetate sheets, and I just put those in for some interest, just something a little bit different. And these are all layouts I did quite a while ago. This one keeps falling apart. I think it's just too heavy. I need to glue this on better. It's a pocket that has like our luggage tags. And I had actually kept these coins from the Port New Orleans. They gave you coins and like beads and things like that. And so I actually kept the coins and used them as embellishments. So this is talking about our resort. Again, I didn't have anything to scrapbook on this page because I wanted to stay within the order in which I was scrapbooking the certain photos. And so I just found, I have a bunch of these, like My Mind's Eye 8x10. I think that, they're meant to be like framed or whatever, but they're really great for things like this. I have some 12x12 of these. I have some 8x10. They're a really great way to kind of make a page that doesn't have a photo, but it just adds to the overall decoration of the album in its entirety. This is actually an acetate sheet that I scrapbooked on so you can see the front and back. So I actually just adhered stuff on this side and then adhered more stuff on this side and made a match so that it covered, it was the same structure, so it covered the back of what I scrapbooked on here. So very fun. Again, lots of these little Mickeys spread throughout. Here's just kind of a random story I wanted to tell. So then now we're kind of into like our first meal, and you recognize this. This is my cover photo on my YouTube channel. This is from this layout. So as you can see, I'm not obviously using the same line throughout, but it still meshes very well because the colors are all very Disney-ish. Here's a 2-page layout. And then some more resort pictures. So sometimes I'll embellish on the outside of the page protector. Sometimes I'll just do it on the pockets on the inside. I think it works great either way. I have no problems with these things falling off. I just glue them on really well. So you'll see that throughout as well. So this, let's see, I completed this page this weekend and this page, no, I'd already done this one. You know what? No, just kidding. I had already done both of these. I'm getting my 2 trips mixed up because I did some Chef Mickey stuff in the newer album. This I had already done. That I had already done. I think I did this weekend. And then I think I finished kind of putting these into the protectors this weekend. Yep, did that. So now we're back to the resort. So I think... yeah, because we did Chef Mickey's the very first night. So we traveled, we got there with Chef Mickey's, and then I did some more resort photos. But then now we're into the first day, and so our first full day. So here I have this here because this is Magic Kingdom. Next section here. So some more layouts. Very fun. And some of these, yes, they could have been, I could have done 2 photos on one, and some, you know, like I just do a mix. Like if I felt like just... if I was doing a class, I just wanted to do 1 photo. So you'll see some layouts are very similar in which the photo that I scrapbooked, but I really didn't worry about, like when I sat down to scrapbook them, I didn't worry about it in terms of the album. I just scrapbooked photos I wanted to scrapbook and told stories I wanted to tell. And then when I was in like the last third part of finishing up the albums, that's when I went through and like really organized it and like made sure that I wasn't missing any spots and that kind of thing. And so some of these things are going to be kind of repetitive, but that's okay. This is a 2-page spread. And then just some photos from that day. Again, another 8x10 sheet here that worked perfectly for the theme, Dreams Are for Chasing, because I had a 2-page 8.5x11 spread here, and I didn't have another photo to scrapbook here. So did on both sides of that. Because again, I could have done this in 8x10 or 8.5x11 format, but that wasn't all in, you know, set in yet, because I don't work on these in order. I just work on them as I want to. So it really is kind of a game of just like putting them in their order and then figuring out what slots are open as you go. Love this. I can tell that is not in the right spot. That was not for sure where that came from. Well, I'll fix it later. I'm not for sure where that came from. Okay. So here's some more photos from this show, and then some accompanying photos from that same show. So these are all layouts I had already done before this weekend, except for those couple before. Okay. So things like, you know, you have your parades and you have your shows where you tend to take lots of photos throughout them. And those are just great types of photos to put in these protectors, because you don't need a scrapbook like every little individual photo. You can put them all together and see the experience as a whole, which is great. Okay, so there's that. Okay, that's actually just the end of like travel day and the day one. So, let me grab the next one. I just used some of these pocket cards to make the little title page there, but I want to mark them like part 1, part 2, part 3 kind of thing. Let's see what's next here. Okay. All right, so the second album here. And because, again, of how everything ended up laying out, I didn't have anything to put here. So I just did a really fun Cinderella Castle page with a chipboard sticker as the cover page of it. And so now we're back to Magic Kingdom. And I did some tinkering with these a little bit. I think I finished this up this weekend. I did this weekend. That one I'd already done. So these are all at like one meal where you get to meet all the characters. And so again, lots and lots of photos. These I'd already done. So now we're into like meeting some princesses. And I just had got like a little book and I just tore out the pages and then put the autograph sheets in with as though they were a photo. So when I have these like photos that like gave me the like, oh wow, I love that photo, I just made sure I scrapbook those. This one I did this weekend here. Just some random photos of my mom and myself and my girls. This one I did this weekend. I had this ephemera piece from the ride, and so yeah, two totally different color schemes, but that's totally okay. So these I already had done. That I had done. This I did this weekend. And I think I still need to journal on that. I think I meant to journal. But I did this weekend. So I might have a few things to go in and like finish up, but so here we have a picture of the kids waiting for the parade, and then the parade pictures are just in the protectors. So pretty easy. And then Animal Kingdom. So these were done. I think I had most of the Animal Kingdom pictures done. So it's fun memories to revisit. I just love having the different sizes, like the 6x12 in here. Super fun. And then I just had this paper in here that kind of matched the paper next to it. All kinds of fun photos. And then, you know, the photos that you can buy, which I didn't this last trip because you got it all in a CD. But those are great to just put into a protector and call it good. Here I just did some journaling and title over here, and then the safari pictures here. Okay. I did this weekend. I had that one done already. So now we're into Hollywood Studios. These were all done. So I had a lot of this album already done. I think I had about 2/3 of this album done before this weekend. And we got there Friday, by like late Saturday, I had this one pretty much done. So then I worked on the newer trip for the rest of the weekend. So there's so many fun characters, and just wanted to get all the photos in here. But again, I probably could have printed off way less, but it's like you have a picture of them hugging the character, a picture of them talking the character, a picture of the character doing their autograph. It's like I just wanted to include the whole experience just to remember how awesome it was. So yeah. So like these were actually the fake gold doubloons from the show that they threw out of the audience. And so I picked some of those up and kept them and brought them home and put them on that page. So this I did this weekend. It's very simple. I just used the back of this paper and just kept it simple because I was ready to be done at that point. This I did this weekend. Finish up that second part of this story there. I did this weekend. Again, these are on the outside of the page protector, which is fun. And then these were already done. A lot of these features aren't really even at these parks anymore. I kind of figured that out because Angie had just got back, and so some of these things aren't even there anymore, which is kind of fun for her to see, like, oh, that wasn't there when we were there last month. So okay, on to number 3 here. So the M is for magic there. Okay, so now we're at Epcot. And let's see. Doing this bell. I had these all done. This is probably one of my favorite spreads, is Weaning Ariel. I just love the products that I used for this and thought it turned out so, so cute. Hopefully you can see without the glare, but one of my favorites. Okay, I did this one this weekend. Another just clear. And here I kept it simple because I felt like this is kind of like an element by itself, but when you see the Tell Me a Story and then you flip, there's just a picture of Alice there. I didn't decorate it, I just kept it as its own. Let's see, I did both of these this weekend. These were already done, Aladdin. These were all done. I did this weekend. No, I didn't. Yes, I did. Yep, I did this weekend. And I did this weekend, as well as all of these. It's done there. I did this little thing this weekend. I just really wanted to get that story in there, but I didn't want to do a whole other protector, so I just glued it to this divider and told the story on the back. And then our like ready to go home, airplane ride home spread. So from the first album to this one, you really get a feel of how the whole trip, you know, went, and just the amazing time that we had. I'm gonna go through really quickly my newest trip with you, and I gotta find the right order here. Let me see. And just kind of show you. Now here I haven't put. Here I still have the pictures in their photo sleeves that you get them in from Shutterfly, because I just kind of know that I'm okay. I'm okay with the process of putting them in place where they need to go, if that makes any sense. But like I said, if you're doing it for the first time and you want to just get everything laid, like if you need to have everything laid out first, you can go and put them in those protectors ahead of time. But so right now I just have, I took all my different page protectors with me. And then as I scrapbooked sections of photos, I just figured out, okay, I want to do layout for this one and then put the rest of these in this protector. And then I kind of figured out what pictures are going in after this, so I can put those photos on the back side of that protector. So anyway, so these I'd already done. These were, and this album is a Paper Studio album from Hobby Lobby. So I just grabbed them when they're 50% off, which worked out great because again, I needed 4 for this trip because it was a little bit longer. So here's on our way to the airport. I did this layout this weekend and this layout this weekend using Maggie Holmes Carousel, it looks like. So yeah, I worked with Maggie Holmes Carousel. I worked with the Hello Love, the new Crepe Paper Hello Love line. I worked with the new Pink Paisley Horizons, and then a bunch of my like Disney, like Simple Stories and Echo Park themed paper. So I love these because this pocket with the pom-poms and there's star sequins in there because there were pom-poms on their ears. That worked out perfect. But these were really fun layouts to make. These were already done. You guys can see okay? These were already done. This was actually a layout I had done for, I think, Get It Scrapped. So I put it here because this is like an overall look, like schedule of our trip, like what we did each day. And so I put it in between our traveling there pictures and our first day. So here you can see I need to fill in here. I kind of had some of the pictures planned out where, you know, where they needed to be in the timeline of things. I need to get some cards in there and journal there. And then I had this one already done, but this one oh no, there's another one, never mind. So that one I done. I knew that I had this one photo here I wanted to put here. And then we went to Chef Mickey's, so I kind of pre-planned that I'll have my Mickey pictures, 2 layout spreads here. So I did a little bit of that as I was doing it. Like, oh, I know that these are going to go here. I'm just going to put them in because there were some big sections I got done and I just wanted to like get them all out of the envelope. So this one I'd already done. This is one of my favorites as well. I love this. Layout with Minnie. That one I'd already done. So here I have the rest of the photos from that evening and I just pre-planned them out there. The site. So now we're Hollywood Studios. I had already done those. Did this one this weekend. And as well as this one. Did all this weekend as well. This is all Maggie Holmes, I think. Carousel, so a few lines ago, but it's really great for Disney pictures. The colors are perfect. So I did those. So then I just need to figure out, I know I have like time to fill in between here, so I'm not worried about this being empty right now because I'll have other, I'm organizing them by day, but I'm trying to spread them out throughout the 4 albums, and then I'll have to just adjust them as needed. I had already done this one, but the carousel line had some cotton candy embellishments I want to add to this one because it's the only picture I have of her eating cotton candy. So I'm going to add a little bit to that one yet. And that one I had already done. So I just have some empty, like blank ones in here just so I can grab them when I'm ready to make a layout. And then if I need a divided page protector, I'll just go to my other albums as needed, where I store them. Let's see. That's the last one. Disney-wise. Okay. This is the album I got quite a few done. Oh yeah, I already had quite a bit of these done. So this whole album is pretty much one day because it was a big day. We had Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo and Boutique, and then it was like our big princess finding day, and then we had the Halloween party that night. So it was a very picture heavy day, and so this whole album is almost all that day. I call it day 5. No, it was day 10. It was day 10, I think. Anyway, and so I started with the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo pictures. These I already had done, except for this one I finished, and these I finished. Yeah, this whole section I did this weekend, and I got this done this weekend, which is perfect because I had a 2-page 8.5 by 11 spread here. And then I had already done that one, but I had this one last picture to fill in there, which was nice to have that done. This was, I think, Paige Evans' first line, and it was just perfect. It's perfect for this whole day. I did this weekend. This is with Horizons, which meshed very well with her older lines. Again, they do that often. I've mentioned that a few times that they will often do that. Some random things that's from Hobby Lobby, and that's from my stash. Hobby Lobby, but then most everything is from the Horizons line. Did this one as well. This one I'd already done. These I had already done. I love these charms. I love just hanging them off of tags, and so cute. These I'd already done. And we had so many pictures from that experience, so then I finally just decided the rest of these I'm going to put in a divided page protector. And then on this side, and then the next photos after that was going to Magic Kingdom, and so I just included a bunch of those here, and then focused on a couple of the ones I wanted to highlight and made a layout. So I did this weekend. These Mickey stickers I found in random places. They're nice and they're thicker. They're really, really nice. They're great colors for pages that aren't like red, white, and black. And so I'm not for sure. I think I got it like at a local grocery store, actually. I found them in a sticker, like, twirly thing, and like, those are awesome. So I used up a ton. I got 2 packs of them, and I used up a ton of them. So that was awesome. I did this one this weekend. That was a lot of fun. I already had that one done. Had these done. I had these done already. I had this one done, but I did this one this weekend. Very simple. But I think I've done this one for either Get It Scrapped or, yeah, I did this one for Get It Scrapped as well a while back when I was contributing to their website or their blog. So now we have Belle. I had already had all these done. I had done a lot of the princess ones a few scrapbooking trips ago. So Ariel I got done this weekend, so I got this one done as well as this one. And just these colors were just perfect. This was the Horizons, just perfect for these photos. Like I couldn't ask for a better match color-wise. It was so fun. It's so fun when it meshes together. Like it's like, okay, everything's working perfectly well together. So then the tricky part for me was for the Halloween party. Okay, my girls are in princess dresses, and then you're at Disney World, and then you have Halloween themes going on. So I just found I just brought a few Halloween items that were maybe a little bit brighter, not as dark. Even though like the Halloween party itself got dark and you have all your blacks and purples and greens. But for some of these, I just kept it light on the fall Halloween embellishments and just meshed it in. Now this line had some orange paper in it, so I just made sure to use up some of that to get the orange in there, and then added in a few like Halloween and fall embellishments. Like these are just post pictures with the fun fall things that Disney has. So I did both of these this weekend, and that was a lot of fun to incorporate those together, albeit a little bit tricky. So like this paper here is from a Halloween line, and then I added it in with the Horizons line. This one is probably my favorite that I did this weekend. So I did this one as well. I love, love, love this paper. And here I didn't really add in because the picture itself wasn't really with fall stuff. It was just a picture we took in front of Gaston's pub or whatever, tavern. And so but it was in this same evening, and so I just put it in there. Some other random photos of just the park and them playing games and trick-or-treating here, and then an 8.5 by 11. So I did all this weekend. See, those are perfect because I don't need red, white, and black Mickeys all the time. It was so nice to have other colors of Mickey heads to use that match the photos better. And then I just used a random wood vignette that said trick or treat because that's what she was doing. It's not super Halloweenish, but you can tell what she's doing in the photo. So I did all of these this weekend, all the Halloween ones. Then this one as well, just pictures of the Hocus Pocus show, or it's called the Villain Spooktacular show. And again, just the colors of like the lights, and you're getting more of the Halloween purples and oranges. And so I just started to make sure I incorporated the papers that matched the photos, and it worked out really well. So in here now we're getting into more like actual Halloween type pictures. And so I went more towards the Halloween theme. And so here, because you have like a ghost in the picture and things like that. And then the parade, which was very dark and very Halloweenish. And so it's kind of kept that, just incorporated it as I was able to, and it worked out great. So like here is like really a mix of both. You have the Mickey heads in different kind of brighter colors, but you have mostly all Halloween lines, and then a little Disney thing here, but it's still black and gold, so it matches. So that was just it was just fun, like mixing it. There was one point I had like 3 different lines out. I had Halloween, I had Horizons, and I had another one. Oh, and then all the Disney stuff out. So it was a little tricky, but it was fun at the same time, just to kind of pull things from each pile if I needed to. But definitely made the room very messy. I took some pictures. It was like the most I'd ever taken in a long, long, long time, and it was crazy. So Here again, incorporated kind of a bit of everything. So this is from a Halloween paper, and then this is Horizons. This is from a Halloween sticker sheet. So I just kind of tried to mesh the color, make it so the colors work together. So I didn't have like a super distressed Halloween something with a bunch of brighter colors. Like I found stuff that matched the cleanliness of the color, you know, the purity of the color. Because sometimes those Halloween lines can be super distressed, and those aren't gonna mesh really well. Here I had some sequins. I took my fuse and just put some sequins in an empty pocket there. And that was it for, I might just call this one good unless I can fit maybe part of one more. I don't know if I want to fit any more in there. That was a pretty full page or album. So I may have to like that. This is a great thing about using D-ring. I've had people ask me before, like why do you use D-ring versus post bound? And this is why, because doing things like this, like if I find out that this album is getting super, super full, I can take part of these from the top and add it to the last one, to the end of the last one. And it's really easy to move things around as needed. That makes it really helpful when you're doing projects like this. But even just with general scrapbooking, sometimes I don't scrapbook chronologically, but I organize them chronologically. So to be able to, take a picture of one of my daughters from 6 months ago, and maybe I've scrapbooked more recent photos, but I can go put that in the right place. And so I did this weekend. It's a picture from Disney Springs. And now I think this is Maggie Holmes. I did this weekend. This is from that, I think is it Hello Love from Crepe Paper. Really, really cute line. And so the colors just matched really nicely with the photos there. So I did that. This was all from this weekend. So here is when we went to Cinderella's castle, and I just love, this is from Maggie Holmes, Carousel. Again, just a really nice line for doing Disney pictures. It worked really well. Just love how that turned out. I love the colors. And then just did a bunch of the other photos that I took that day, and the protectors here. I did this weekend. The photos with Cinderella. I wanted to highlight those because we were at Cinderella's castle. So, and then some detailed shots of the castle, and I just wanted to highlight some of those there. And then, so this is using this Hello Love, I think it's Hello Love from Crepe Paper. It had a very like girl power, girl type of theme. And so for Merida, I thought that was perfect because that's kind of her shtick. And the colors were perfect because it had the oranges and the pinks, just the colors of her hair and her dress. It had this really beautiful blue of her dress. So I just pulled that line and did all my Merida pictures, and then a few others as well, but worked out really well. So I did this one. That line is so beautiful. So all this is that line, and I just did all the Merida section. And this is like my favorite picture of the entire trip, and so I really wanted to highlight that. But yeah, so here I did just photos of her chatting with them, and some of the post photos, did some journaling, use some of the embellishments here, another layout. And then some rides pictures, also from that same line. And then here I had an empty spot because I think I don't have any more photos between these, and I think this is like it. So I knew that this was going to be empty, and this paper was awesome. This is from Maggie Holmes Carousel, and I just love, because I wouldn't know how to use that as a background anyway. I mean, you could cut it up, but I just love it as itself. And so to be able to take some of those really great papers that you don't want to cover up, or that have like phrases on them or whatever, they're great for things like this. So then I had a selfie of me and my daughter. I'd already had that one done. But these two I did this weekend. These are like our final pictures before we left left like because we flew out the next morning. So this was our last like little bit of time we had there. And so did those. I was able to incorporate again some more of those Mickeys because they matched the lines, the brighter colored lines, which is great. And then that one I'd already had done, but I love that layout. So then in a separate album, so part of our trip to Florida was Universal Studios. We went there for 2 days. And so I will show you what I have done of that really quickly. And these, I didn't work on any of these while I was there this weekend. I had done these I think a year ago, May. No, wrong one, sorry. Where did I go? Oh, there it is. Let me get these all labeled. There we go. Okay, so then so this will be like the Universal Studios book. So far right now I've pretty much just done Harry Potter pictures, and so I basically just got some Harry Potter themed stuff. I got some Tim Holtz stuff because of the feel of the Harry Potter stuff has like the gears and those kinds of things, and just kind of worked those in together with each other. I'm all for a themed page, so if I'm doing Harry Potter pictures, I love to have Harry Potter themed supplies. Not everyone loves that, but I think it just adds to the feel of the photos. And so these are just ones I've done. I need to finish these up here. And again, these are like the Tim Holtz frames, and they just are have that very vintage, I don't know, fantasy vintage, darker look to them that work really well for the photos and just how the experience felt while we were there. So, and just how the movies feel. So that's kind of the little start to that album that I have going on there. So guys, that's it. So I'll keep you updated as I get this last trip finished. What I did do when I was packing up last night was I took had two Dear Lizzie lines ago. She kind of had a little bit of a jungle theme in one of her collections, and I've worked with it a little bit, but I had it with me and I was like, oh, these would be perfect for the Animal Kingdom photos that I still have to scrapbook from this trip. And so I would just put that packet of photos into that bag. And so what I did was I organized what lines I wanted to use for a lot of the remainder of the pictures. Not all of them, but a good portion of them. So I have the rest of my Harry Potter pictures organized with the Harry Potter themed supplies, as well as those dark, those kind of Tim Holtzy type of supplies. And then I had a Animal Kingdom packet and that Dear Lizzie line. And then I just kind of was able to organize kind of what products I wanted to use for some of the other photos that I still have. But I still have like 4 fairly good size thick envelopes to scrapbook yet from this trip. But it just makes it so much easier when you use these divided page protectors. It just makes it easier to just keep it all together and not be overwhelmed that you have to scrapbook every single one. You can just put them in these, and then you can just pick out, oh, I want to scrapbook this one photo, and then where that leaves an empty spot, insert a really fun card and journal on it, or just make it decorative. So it's a really fun system. It's made it very easy to make bigger projects like this, and to work on them and make it very manageable. And so I just wanted to share that with you guys. Also, you can use the smaller page protectors that I showed you earlier, like the 4x6 ones, and you can put your pamphlets in there if you want to keep all those in there. I had to dig all those out, and I'll probably just do that, intersperse those within the albums. But again, having the 3-ring binder makes it so easy to be able to go in and like add that stuff in as you find it, or organize it as you need to as you're working on the project. And so I just want to share that with you guys, and also kill 2 birds with 1 stone, show you the layouts I made this weekend, as well as the project I was working on and how I go about that, because it can be very, very overwhelming. And so just wanted to to show you that. And And this is how fun it is to have different sizes of pages in an album. I've always loved that. I learned that from Ellie Edwards a long, long time ago, when she'd make her little kind of mini albums, and she would have a variety of sizes of pages, and I always loved that look. So it just makes it really fun to me to have that fun variety. So anyway, if you guys have any questions, let me know. I just wanted to share that process and some of my layouts that I was able to get done, and holler if you have any questions. Otherwise, I'll be back sometime soon. Not for sure what my next scrappy project is. I might just keep these supplies out and keep scrapbooking Disney. Not for sure what I want to do, but thought I'd share that fun process with you all. Take care and happy scrapping. Bye-bye.